could look down at my body, I'd go from being a friend who can talk to him,
right,
to looking down at my body and being like, okay, I got my little kiddie 7-year-old hands now. Let me go and handle this.
Okay. So basically...
So that's why I said the winter was brutal, because I saw him being cold in bed. I said, oh, I got you.
Did you feel it as well?
I just jumped right into him and kind of braved the cold nights for him.
Okay. So what are we trying to establish here, really?
I don't know. I'm giving the information. Hello, dear sweet souls. We are back. All right, Shem. And
Oh mon Dieu.
Yep. We are back for another episode of Awaken to Joy. And yeah. So, last episode we were discussing quantum dreaming and the idea around quantum healing through what we thought may or may not be jumping into parallel versions of yourself. So, where did we leave off?
Well, you kind of concluded about the dream and you being this little boy that basically he had to come to terms with his life.
Yeah.
He was living in Boston.
Yeah.
America, England. That's the
That's
place.
what it was called at the time.
Right. So, finally, this dream lasted over a year. So you had this feeling that you were gone for so long and you couldn't wake up. And then finally, you had to just bring him strength, I guess. It sounded like he had more strength than you in the dream, because you were like, "What? This is terrible."
Yeah.
Was it a lesson for you, or was it you bringing him in strength? Like what?
At the beginning, honestly, I was there for him, like bringing him strength, times especially for physical strength as well, making him kind of like dig deep, because I, in this avatar, seem to have an issue around my knees.
But how can you bring in physical strength? I mean, if you're not physically there, I mean,
because as I said, I can
is there?
jump into his being and operate his body.
Jumping,
like in quantum. Okay, we're going back to Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap, is that what the show was called?
That used to be that.
When he looks down at his body and he's like got woman hands or whatever. That. I could look down at my body. I'd go from being a friend who can talk to him,
right,
to looking down at my body and being like, okay, I got my little kiddie 7-year-old hands now. Let me go and handle this.
Okay. So basically...
So that's why I said the winter was brutal, because I saw him being cold in bed. I said, oh, I got you.
Did you feel it as well?
I just jumped right into him and kind of braved the cold nights for him.
Okay. So what are we trying to establish here, really?
I don't know. I'm giving the information.
No, because I think what I trying in my mind when I hear it establish is like,
I just know I need to share it. I've been guided to share it, so that's what I'm doing. Following more instructions.
I have a list of belief that I know that not everybody will adhere to because it's just up there.
You don't know that, but go anyway.
No, but reincarnations and
I promise you.
in all of these.
I promise you, if they've made it to episode 3, they might get with it.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying that generally speaking, I'll give you an example. You have a sort of a press conference to do. This is the least things you see yourself talking about, and people be like, "Yeah, that's true."
True.
A lot of people would be like,
"But lucky for us, it's in a press conference."
No. It's on YouTube, isn't it?
Hey.
No, but what I'm trying to say is this:
it will find who it has to find.
Okay. we are touching on this for me,
Yeah.
or reincarnation, parallel lives or universe that you may have, where sometimes you're you or you're not. You're like quantum leaping.
Yeah.
Also the power of how you could intervene in a reality that is not yours here, but it is his reality, that little boy, and you are able from a spiritual, from a consciousness aspect to have an effect on his life, whether it's help because you're all helping him,
Yeah.
and like going through the winter. So physically you can feel what he feels, I guess.
Yeah.
But you give him this support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which this is what we could see as being positive, because you're being a help. Which then, if everything is balanced in the universe, then I believe the opposite is true as well. Which again, not so supportive help.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I don't want to talk about this necessarily. All I'm saying is that is what we're talking about, and in terms of also helping all of these versions, whether of you or different people in the universe. For you in this instance is you. You feel it's you because you feel that it's a lifetime that you experienced.
It's not a feeling, it's a knowing. It's something
knowing.
that I've come to know.
No, but you feel we're on the earth plan here. I'm saying this is how we talk, but yes, you know intrinsically in your soul that is you. You know that.
I've learned that it's me.
You've learned that it's you. You've learned to
as of
say
late.
That it's
Well,
you.
it's not that. I never saw them as me until I was saying, I've been through my own situations here. And I had my own stuff to transmute here,
Right.
as I do my own stuff to release here. And
Right.
through that understanding, I've realised that what these were for me.
Right. So basically,
And who these are to me in relation to me.
Right. So we have established, like I said, things that I believe to be true, but that seem to be presenting itself as you talk about this story, what you're experiencing, which is reincarnations, which is multiverse, universe. But this has a correlation with your life right now. I mean, being on a spiritual journey, we have to acknowledge these things. It's not, you can't just say I'm on a spiritual journey, but there's all these things happening to me. I've got nothing to see with me. They're obviously impacting you in your life.
Nothing to see here.
And the truth is, what do we do when we dream? Like when you're not aware of these things, it was a dream, it was a bad dream, it was a good dream, it was a dream, oh yeah, whatever, it's all a dream.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. Of course.
Now it's all
I have
fair and
dreams
well.
sometimes.
Now you are awakened to this idea that is actually you. It has a benefit for you to go through these things, or things we can call nightmare sometimes, because some of them sounds like absolute nightmare. They do.
The thing is, if you turn up and you after you do enough missions, if you turn up and you're scarier than the person there, then you're rendered obsolete. They very rarely sent me on something that I cannot help the person with.
No. I'm of course, but it is not necessarily a nice experience, is it?
Do you remember when I said to you about being the soldier?
There's a couple of I remember.
All right,
The one under the floorboard.
There we go. So
I remember that. Why?
That was a lot for me.
Somehow when you told me
in this life, in this avatar, I may or may not have an issue about small spaces. Yeah?
Yeah. That's a deep story, but
Now, where did that come from? Don't know. But the day I had to get into, the day I'm saying this is in time, and I'm trying not to speak in terms of time, but for lack of vocab, the instance that I had to be with him in his last moments. So not only beside him, but in him, within him, in his body, in his avatar. Feel the shots, take the shots for him. And then just so he gets the realization that you're not going anywhere, you're not dying, your body is, you are going to blink again. Like, so I can't explain it more than that. But for me, that was the moment, that was the instance where I realized, like, you're not, bro, calm down. You are going to die, but you're not going to die. It's not like that. That's what that was what he had to get past, because.
Well, that is, wow. I mean, to me, because obviously it's very difficult to talk about all of these things without bringing up a lot of other existential questions and subject people may have, and related also to spirituality and what was the purpose here of being on earth here, what we're doing, because there's a lot to unpack, of course, but also a lot to kind of fathom and be like, oh, what's this, is that, like we were mentioning previously about the concept of time. So
what these missions have done for me personally.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about.
Made me have a look at my belief structures here.
Okay, in this instance, because we're talking about helping someone to die, because you kind of like to not panic, I suppose, because you tell him calm down and all that.
Yeah,
and all of that. Your relation to death then here, it's then, how's this helping you?
Changed enormously.
Okay, so you're supposed to help someone to die, which means in by anybody's standard here on earth, if you're gonna have me die, I should think you know really about it more than I do, meaning that you're knowledgeable and you can be of like a help and reassure me or pass over and down. But yet you're not. So you're not at this point in time. Now, whatever knowledge you have acquired is one thing, but you're not. So you're here on this mission, have no clue on how to deal with it.
You see all these questions? Imagine I'm cussing, right? So I've been put somewhere, and immediately, whatever it is, the mission has been set. Boom, it's set. I'm there. Then me, Shem, still as a consciousness steps in like, yo, firstly, liberty. Secondly, don't know how to do that. Thirdly, like, my ego is wild.
Could they pat the head and be like, you
very much,
so much blood.
Very much was in the business of my ego running wild and telling me what I can and can't do in those missions. So quickly I had to check my ego as to its belief systems. Like I said, my belief systems had to be all, like, I've literally been forced to have a look at all of them. And I'm still going through the list.
So, okay. Okay, so now you realize that you're like, wow, what is this? Why are you sending me on? I guess, why are you sending me, whoever you are, on these missions? I have no clue. I'm not an expert on happy people to die. I'm not. You're going through the whole emotion because you.
I woke up that morning distraught.
I understand. So, okay, but then that's also when you learn, right? You learn about death and how it feels.
Yeah.
What happened then?
I realized waking up distraught was less about me as the consciousness that goes and helps him, and more about me as the belief system I have here as my avatar.
Were you like judging certain situations?
Absolutely. Like, I'm still here trying to have a human experience, and you're sending me here to get, all of these like bullet holes in me. And
so when you experience this, you woke up, obviously you were like feeling like you just been shot, really. Did you did you just woke up as you've been shot? Because some people like experience sort of like near.
Because you know why? Because of the belief that they can't die in their dream.
Yeah.
So they kind of like pull themselves like, no, and I'm waking up. Boom.
So there's a wheel there where you can just pull yourself out of it.
See, all up until that point,
before you experience,
I've always pulled up out. I've been like, you know, like.
Okay, so time to grow already.
But that dream, I didn't leave. I saw the after.
Right.
I saw the after. I was with him. I actually had to be him. And then I was like, you know when you like get hit by something and then you kind of like, oh, it was like that.
Is it because in actual fact it's like almost as if it's just a veil that is between a reality and so-called another reality, where I guess where your consciousness is really, because it's like your consciousness traveling from your body all the way while you're sleeping, I guess, to that person's body or that reality, which turns out, of course, we find out to be actually you in another lifetime.
Well, that was what it's. When you say the you mean the you from the I am, not the you from the Shem, right?
Your consciousness. For now, we're gonna stick to the consciousness, isn't it? Like everyone can get the idea behind your thoughts.
Yeah, but you're thinking you're as in me, Shamel's thoughts, not as in like on a soul level, on an energetic level.
What I talk about,
because me, Shem, you have to understand, still was holding very much an opinion and judgment about everything that was going on, and had to pike down because it was getting in the way of my ability to help people.
But you, Shem, was on a trip somewhere, traveling somewhere, whether she likes it or not. At this point, she was like going to this place, along with.
Going along with
the
this
higher soul, I don't know how you want to call it.
Going along with this storyline of
floating, going into another body, experiencing another reality, and then so it's like a veil between this world, between his world, this soldier, his world, and this the other side, and you world, and the other side in a way, because it feels like.
It started to make sense slowly. There was things I was fascinated about when I was younger, like all of the wars and all of this business around war and stuff like that. And I was very much adamant that it was unnecessary, and I never knew why. And it wasn't because I felt like people didn't need to be smacked up sometimes. It was never that. It was more. It wasn't from no righteous like, oh my God, like we shouldn't no violence. It was never from there. Mm-hmm. It was just always from the we ain't ready for it, you know. Yeah. When it comes down to it, not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is.
And I know there's people who's like, no, I'm ready. Like, but
yeah, I remember experiencing certain situations with people saying these things.
You've hardened yourself to something that don't really make you.
Oh, they're not hardened to it. They're not understanding more.
That's what it is.
What it is.
So once I got to the understanding, it made me also realize, like, I went in there, like, knowing history. He was, say, from what people would say, the bad side.
Okay.
The side of the baddies. And he had his own experience without even bringing any harm to any of what people would consider the allies on this side.
I understand, yeah.
And still was part of a huge personal atrocity for him, his own soul. He was... The second he made a split decision out of fear, and the second he fulfilled that decision, he was devastated. And I just had to come in and be a friend. Like, yo, bruv, listen to me. We've been there, you know. This is me. And me, Shem, was like, no, you ain't, but you have, but no, you ain't. Not like this, but...
You got this, you know.
Just chiming in with still opinions.
Well, that's probably how he felt being his own.
Right. And then I realized I have to calm my opinions. I have to stop my judgments because it's not allowing me to come in and actually be as effective as I need to. Because once there's been a few times where I have so-called failed missions and woken up feeling absolutely just bummed out about it. Like, wow, you could have done better if you just shut up, or if you just, and it's been like,
Well, you sent back to these missions.
not all of them.
Right. Okay.
But I've since had to forgive myself and be okay and just understand that was a learning curve.
So what you've learned forgiveness for yourself?
Yeah.
You've learned the concept of death. There's maybe no such things.
Not in the way that we've been taught to understand it or programmed to understand it.
And you've learned compassion.
Buckets.
Because for certain situations...
For as much water is on this earth, is for as much compassion as you're going to need.
Okay. And then... Because all our subjects that we can touch on as well, separately, doesn't have to be through the stories in itself.
It doesn't have to be, but that's where I'd probably be drawing a lot of my experiences from, because these are not... To call something a dream is just to be able to equate to people, to give them an idea as to how they may come up, just so they can have an understanding of the concept of going into something.
I've heard about the term astral traveling.
Yeah.
Would you say this is what it is for you has been, and what it is for most people when they dream?
As I was going through my actual life's dark night of the soul, I then learnt these things.
Right.
But I did not know these at the time. I did not know what this was at the time. I just accepted it as my life. And, like, I was that friend that when people would ask, "Oh, ça va?" and I'd be like, "Fatigué." Like, my answer was always tired. So, how are you? Tired. That was like, I was that person. Okay. Not being able to tell them, "Oh, why?" They just assumed it was because of the kids. No, my kids are popping. Like, my kids are great. My kids are a blessing.
Yeah, you can hardly tell people what it is.
But I'm not going to hit you in the supermarket with, I was just astral planing last night, and it was not going to be. It's not going to land.
It's still as I thought it would.
And
it's actually funny, but yeah.
And then to not jump, but I got pregnant the 4th time. We.
Yeah, understand.
Got pregnant the 4th time, and which is lovely, which is always lovely, which has always been a lovely experience for us. Like, honestly, So we decided to have our 4th. Then we found out we're having our 4th pregnancy.
Yeah.
Waiting for the pregnancy to come through, not knowing what to expect. When you have enough kids, you realise they're each in all separate pregnancies, so you don't know what's going on.
Like, you let it be.
At this point, you're going to stop the fight.
It's actually, I didn't learn that through the pregnancy anyway. Like through us having the 4th, I've learned it to let things go. It's funny how.
Well, the thing is, if I was in your position,
served me for that as well, to just not blow it out of proportion.
If I'd been in your position where I'm watching someone else being pregnant and I'm the person who is the helper in the situation, which I am in my, I guess, astral life.
Yeah.
Which even then I'm a bit like, don't know about that, but still I'm seeing about it. I'm seeing the language around it. I'll see what it means. It depends on what it means to people, but I'm not too sure if that's exactly what it means for me, but okay, maybe. If someone could shed light, maybe. I'm open.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I know that after a while of being the person who has to just be there as a support system, you quickly realise to only hold space for positive thoughts. Because you being like... in your feelings all the time,
Yeah.
You have to hold,
Yeah, you do.
or you are of no help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
us having the fourth was cool for me because I'm going in the fourth time like, yeah, fine. All right. You got the drill. But when your body is going through it, you don't arrive there as quickly as somebody who has to be there watching you may have to be.
Yeah.
You had to get that in that space together way quicker than I did.
Yeah, of course.
I could have chosen to be in that space. Somehow I chose drama instead.
But that's another thing.
Put a little bit of spice in my life and choose a little bit of drama where I didn't need it. Yeah. Been there, done that. But the fourth pregnancy, I was done with the drama. I was like, nah. I'm good.
Listen,
I'm going to keep this one real chilled.
It was what it was, isn't it?
Yes,
but
they've been beautiful. And I'm saying drama, but you know what I'm talking about.
It was a very lovely moment.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so all these things you've learned, obviously, served you in your own life.
It has, but the trick this time is that what I'm bringing the pregnancy up about is they didn't allow me this time to break. It's less than, and I've come to realize it's not an allowing of whether they allow or don't allow, and they're in charge of me. But I got clear on the fact that the agreement was that I was going to roll through this. That was what it was.
Yeah.
But what I did agree upon where I set my boundary was any vast awakening moment needs to happen after this baby is born. Everything else, keep it cool. Keep it cool.
Yeah.
I'll do it, but keep it cool. That was the agreement. Like, I'll still do it. I won't break, but keep it cool. As soon as I have dropped this baby, then you can...
All right. So would you...
I can hear him now.
Yeah.
You know what? If you have to bring him, bring him.
Yeah.
Are you hearing that?
Yeah, but he's not crying though.
Is he laughing?
He's laughing.
Oh. That's another dream.
Okay. Now just let's talk about what like, who are you today? Like, you've now established all of this. So a lot of things you establish at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, you establish that when I go to sleep at night, I am astral planning, and I am helping all these people that possibly or most likely will now know their version of me. That's how I went, because you probably had a bit of a like, that seems like...
Some have been, some have not been, some have been, yeah, some have been deja vu, and some have just been like, nah, that was for this person, or nah, that was for another person, and they all feel different. So I'm very well aware of what is what, and they're not the same as having a dream.
Right. Okay. So you can determine that.
I know the difference.
There are some things you know.
There is a difference. It doesn't feel the same.
Some things there. So now you find yourself learning all these things, like the necessity of forgiveness for yourself or letting go, because I guess, I mean, when you're on your deathbed or about to die, there's not much else to do but let go at some point. You can fight, but you know that at some point you're gonna have to let go of at least the body you hold now, the avatar that you call it.
Yeah.
So this avatar has to go now. Now, who I become, you were able to find out that you still keep your own identity of self.
Yeah.
Right? So now in your life, that's a lot of providing that you don't ignore it and you thinking it's okay, truth for you, it is truth. That's a whole new perspective you've got on life now.
It's been a lot.
And what brings you today to want to do a podcast talking about all these different aspects? Because I don't think it's necessarily you talking about one aspect in particular, particularly about spirituality, but everything surrounding it, isn't it? Like the life was also everyday to their life, how things are.
From enough, put it this way, I've travelled enough around to know that you can quickly make everything a religion.
Absolutely.
The idea of religiously doing something means that you dedicated blindly yourself to something.
Right.
Like, I religiously drink coffee in the morning, or I religiously cream my hands every night, and you're just there, just... I don't know what.
Yeah,
I haven't got another example. Whatever.
So what would be the message you would like probably the audience to know in terms of this aspect of life? Because it's often something that's unspoken. People don't come forward. I mean, I think as like a lot more people are starting coming forward with
this is how I feel like.
So I'm gonna say it again: paranormal things,
Paranormal.
Things, very what people say.
I get you what you're saying, and I'm laughing at it.
So what? First, what's the attempt? Like, is it to also
share
because
that's what I've been guided to do, because I also get okay.
And you've been guided. Okay, let's talk about this a bit more. Who?
All right. I have a higher self, as we all do, or an inner self, and they suggest things, and I can ignore them or not.
Okay. What happened when you ignored them? Like, what have you noticed?
Bananas is all I'm going to say. Cats in bags.
Cats in bags. I can only imagine.
And I am a cat lover, so I'm just... cats got harmed in that metaphor, okay? Easy.
It looks like...
It's just a metaphor. But yeah, that.
Yeah, wait.
A bag of mixed nuts.
So it's not going a rocky road?
Okay, it's like, imagine you're like, I don't know.
Rocky journey.
If you're a family of 4 and somebody delivers like 12 kilos of ripe bananas to your home, I mean, day 1, day 2, you probably figure it out. But by day 4, it's a crisis. They're all ripe. What are you going to do? There's only so much banana bread any one person can eat. It's that. It's like, it's going to disintegrate, and it's going to disintegrate fast.
Okay. All right. So for you, it was an option to ignore.
It became quickly. I've ignored enough things for long enough to know better now.
Okay, and so sharing would, I can see that it can help. That obviously this can help a lot of people in the sense that if they experience similar things, they can feel like they're not by themselves. Because the thing is,
it's more that because for me, it's like. A little bit like Alcoholics Anonymous, for those who have had an awakening and don't know where to turn. Hi, my name's Shem. Hi, Shem. And I'm a quantum dreamer. It's that. It's just a safe space. And I'm saying safe. I don't know how the comments are going to go. I'm not in charge. I'm just saying. Be kind. But
okay,
that's the intention set, is that it's just an open, safe space for everybody to, and I, as I'm saying it, I'm hoping that someone generates another vocabulary than that, but
it's fine. I mean, you have
a place at which everybody can just openly conversate about this, because. Like me, I'm sure there's people been going through it, been like, yep, 40 years of that.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, correcting your own vocabulary, I mean, as long as when you create your own vocabulary and it speaks to people, that's, in my opinion, that's what matters.
I've been doing it since I was a kid and didn't even realise.
Yeah.
But you get it. Like I say, channel presser. I've never in life said
remote control.
There we go.
Yeah.
I've always called it a channel presser, and somehow everyone knows what it means.
Sounds better. Okay. So now, practically speaking, how this is helpful
I
in your
don't.
life?
This is the thing. I'm given guidance to do things, and I don't necessarily. Now I've learned that it's not always my business as to how the things is gonna turn out. It's just gonna go the way it has to go, and that's that.
Can you clarify on that? What do you mean?
Clarification. I was told none of my business. Because the thing is, sometimes I have this type of ego. Sometimes remember I was telling you about my ego running wild.
Yeah.
Coming in, trying to save everything. Don't need to know certain information. So certain information not given to me until I literally need to know. What's a need to know basis? If it helps one person feel like they're not going completely nuts, great.
Okay. All right.
If I watch them back years after and it soothed me in some way, great.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I've been watching certain podcasts, and actually that's all I was ever looking for anyway. Sort of like place where I can relate or change my perception of things. And
I'm not even trying to, and I'm not even recruiting. Not recruiting. So
but
great.
You need some time to change your perceptions. You know, you need to change your perceptions of few things because it doesn't work for you.
That's what it is.
And you're like, okay, this don't work. I'm in need of something new. And
yeah,
you know, the universe, being the universe, sometimes delivers it.
Always.
Through video, through
always,
signs, through
every
different things.
single time. If you are in a frequency to receive that thing, to allow that gift to come through.
So, talking about frequency now, in the dream world, how do things work when it comes down to understanding another? Because I've heard a lot of things that also the way you can exchange sort of messages, you have to be on the same frequency in order to be able to sort of like communicate. So the spirits communicate with you when you raise your frequency, they communicate with you better. I mean, so when you get into these missions as well, you didn't. Well, I didn't hear that you know necessarily were in a state of joy necessarily going there. So where your frequency
high.
Yeah, was it high? What was it?
What I would say is my frequency was open to the fact that I need to know more. I was open to the fact of knowing more.
So I guess it's...
So was that a frequency of being open to know more?
Right.
As opposed to thinking I knew everything already.
Okay.
And I still till this day go into every single sleep I have, even if it's a nap, with the idea is like, all right, show me something new. Okay. Like that. Like I never go in thinking like, I got this. And like,
do you apply?
It's not that. It's like,
do you apply it to your life? Would you say you apply it to your life?
I've started to. I've had to.
Okay. Why did you have to? Why?
I mean, how many times do you want to be in a loop, stuck in a loop? Arguments with the same people, or having like deja vu. How many times do you want to have the same issue in your life turning up in different ways with different faces and different characters playing different parts before you're like, oh, this is the same?
So you've realized that there was definitely a correlation between the way your life looked and the frequency in which you were in, right?
Definitely. And I also, through being of guidance to other people, realized, hang on a minute, am I your guide? It was that. It was never, I've even if everybody from the outside of me looking in has been like, yeah, but you're always that person. I'd never seen myself as that person until I started doing it like on a regular basis with people.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, so if you can do this with people, then do it with yourself.
And when you refer to people in this reality?
They're all reality.
No, this one.
This realm, yeah.
Okay.
This realm and other realms.
All right.
All of them. Because once you do something, you've done it, right?
Yeah.
Hence
true.
why you've had a deja vu. It wouldn't be called a deja vu if you didn't think you'd already done it.
I never had a deja vu.
Well, that's another story.
Never. But
That's another story.
I can, see how it feels like. I can imagine.
I'm not going to lie to you. It is what it is. I've also realised how to stay in a deja vu for longer. There's certain things that I've been able to do for longer. You know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see you.
I used to have deja vus as a kid, and
I
you
can
stay
see
in
why
them
that
for
would be,
a sentence or a thing that somebody's done, but I could stay in them for about.
Yeah, I can see why that would be a thing to try to have the deja vu and try to stay in the moment of the deja vu.
The second you announce the deja vu, it's no longer a deja vu because you've then changed what it was.
Yeah, of course.
Instead of just observing and staying in it as you were.
Yeah.
And you stay in it.
Yeah, no, I had different experiences, but not that. Now, what would you be saying, like, in terms of forgiveness and forgiving yourself? How would you say the best way to approach it in our lives?
That's a big question.
Because you had to approach it in this quantum traveling you did.
I've been forced to.
You've been forced to.
I've been forced to. And you know that you can't, I'm saying forced as in the dramatic version that you can use here as an earthling, but
so about forgiveness,
forced to as in the idea that there's been things that have happened in my own personal life that I felt was like that's my trauma, that's my childhood trauma. And then I've traveled and had to be in the bodies of people who do those things.
Right. But okay, that is what I feel this has helped you overcome in this lifetime, by being able to experience in this other reality and traveling in these other people's bodies through the dream world. You were able to do all of this and acquire that experience, which then you can retranslate into this life.
Yeah.
But if you never went through this, how do you? But you feel strongly. You're like, you know what? I can't keep on being with these emotions. I want to start being able to forgive. But it's a big thing to say. I don't care anymore. I forgive, and then a little thing triggers you, and you right back.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the forgiveness thing. It's like, do you though?
So,
and I've done the do you though one.
Yeah,
which is
we all did, I'm sure.
I forgive you, and like I said, programming in it.
Yeah.
Forgive and forget.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be religious to be programmed.
But what did
like
you
it
take
doesn't
from...
mean I'm Christian, I'm programmed, I'm this, I'm that. It's everything you believe is a program.
What I would like you to talk about, it's what is the part of this dream that you had in common that you were able to grasp and turn that into sort of like wisdom here? What is it that, because it's obvious that
it shatters your belief. If you wake up and you feel something in your body, you can't shy away from it.
So that's very interesting. It shattered your belief, yeah?
Yeah.
So let's talk about belief then. would you say that the only reason we struggling with forgiveness is because of our belief?
Yes.
Do you see that's the only reason?
One of them.
What's the other ones?
You believe that it serves you to not forgive them rather than to forgive them.
Okay, why? Like, I don't understand how that even... you're talking about a person that's not in the revenge mode, but it's like, I got to forgive. Like, no, you know, when you know I have to forgive because I have to move on from this place.
Yeah.
So how's that person believe that they
because of the
not forgiving
idea
them?
that forgiveness would mean that somebody's gotten away with something.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. So basically, if you forgive, then
That's it. They're off the hook, isn't it?
I guess, yeah, there's no justice.
They're free, no justice, no justice for you, nothing is served.
All right, okay.
Cold case.
But this is very interesting. I tell you what, it's very interesting because you were talking about the fact that when you went through these things, you sometimes went through these moments with judgment and you realize, oh, so I guess your own judgment is blocking you, is preventing you from forgiveness then.
Yeah.
I'm only using the word you say, like how you described it.
Well, yes.
So through you also judging certain situations and experiencing the same set situations, you were able to kind of look at yourself and your own belief surrounding judging as well.
Yeah.
And I guess you in turn were able to reapply this.
I was like, oops. Or sometimes
having
I
enough
was
compassion.
Sometimes I was like, wow.
Right. So then, in other words, what you're saying is that for people to overcome the struggle of being able to forgive someone, but we still want to move on, because I can understand why you can't forgive someone if you're looking for if you're seeking revenge, because the two kind of don't mix really.
Yeah.
But not being able, wanting to do it, but not being able to get there, they will have to look into their belief then.
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, for me, it was a belief that justice wouldn't be served.
Right.
And if the only justice is that I never forgive you.
But why do you need justice?
Because you feel like something unjust happened and you haven't been heard about it.
So you caught up
or you haven't been duly paid back, or that you are at a loss somehow because of that thing, and that thing has to be paid back to you. So you're trying to scramble. Imagine that thing that happened to you if you quantified it in amusement park tokens.
Okay.
Like, I walked in with 40, I got shook down. Now I can't play on no rides. I ain't got no tokens, but I still want candy floss. Someone owes me some fucking tokens. That's the energy.
Okay. So
that's the energy. Then you go up to the person, you try and explain to the organisers, someone just, robbed me out here and they took my tokens.
Okay.
Well, there's nothing I could do here. And then you go to someone else, and then you realise, oh my God, it looks like I'll never get my tokens back. This is the thing. And then you forget that you're already at a fairground.
So you would you say that basically the seeking for justice, the minute you're seeking for justice, you're quantifying, or actually you're
affirming that you're in a loss.
Affirming you're in a loss, but also you it seems that you're also, the way you explain it, that you've already said, this is good, this is bad, you've done something bad to me, I have been good, so therefore I deserve you to just pay for the bad you've done, so I can be could it be a wish of people saying to themselves in a way, well, I wish I could do that and get away with it, because I can't do that and get away with it.
No, I wouldn't say that all the time.
No, hold on. You're doing something bad and getting away with it, and I don't buy. because I'm doing good.
At times.
Because I felt like this before.
I know, at times, for certain situations, absolutely. Especially when you're like, this is like, I'm an innocent standby. Like I'm an innocent bystander. I'm an innocent bystander.
And you get you get away with this, you're gonna have to pay for something.
But then in other situations, no, because you just feel like, wow, like I was vulnerable and you took advantage.
But then, but it's still you seen as you saying, basically I was a victim, yeah. So you have, in order to do that, you do have to say to yourself, I am the victim, you're the assailant. And so she's true in that, somewhat in that situation. Yeah. So I am the good, you're the bad.
Yes.
So this must be judged.
So, no, I need my coins back because you've taken my coins from me when I was not able to be in a place where I could be in a place where I could hold my coins without someone taking advantage and taking them away from me. That's the idea of it.
Is that kind of sort of a blame? Meaning yourself for not being able to...
Oh, you quickly realise it's like, wow, like, firstly, can we just... It's a lot to unpick.
It's a lot, yeah.
And it took a lot of time for me to do it because there was layers to the forgiveness. It's not like, oh my God, I forgive you, and that's it. It's you cling on to things, you put hooks in things, and it's the unpicking of all of those hooks, I would say. Like, okay, I forgive you in this aspect, and then something else comes up and you're like, finally, you know what, I don't forgive you for that bit though. And then you have to unpick that bit, and it's like, takes a while to unhook all of the hooks that you put into not forgiving somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not, you could say it's just one layer. It's not like you stepped on my toe, do I forgive you? It was an accident. Okay, yes, I forgive you. One hook, one straightforward, bap, bap. Some situations are layered with many hooks and many...
How do you function then in this life if you're not in that space, but you're in the need of, you could do with using forgiveness? Why is
but
the
it's
key,
not for you
why
to...
Is the key, what would be like? What would be like if that was a key to unlock it? What would that key look like?
Self.
Okay.
Self.
And how does it look like? Self.
If you took forgiveness as in the... And a lot of people will probably be like, I didn't do anything, I have nothing to forgive myself for. Then you haven't quite understood forgiveness. I would say that the word forgiveness has been distorted in some respects because we've attached that to the justice system, the system of getting justice, when it's not. It's more to the system of getting peace.
But you see, you're saying this is funny because for me, from my perspective, I'm well aware that the absence of no judgments is a great help for you. If here, it's difficult to apply, it's not easy, but I know how helpful it is to be able to have the absence of judgments. Of course, you're going to have an opinion on certain things, but you don't have to judge it. So I'm well aware of that, but that's because I have my own journey. But before I got there, there's a lot of things is like...
But what judgment allows you to do is realise like where you are looking, what perspective you're looking at on the spectrum.
Right.
Now you jumping into it and feeling every part of that spectrum is another step. So it doesn't mean that you can't see things for what they are.
So when you say self...
Or call a spade a spade.
So when you say self, just to conclude, you would say self into looking into what you're doing inside
when
of
somebody
yourself,
would
like,
suggest
how
to
you
me,
feel, what's that look like?
Sorry, when someone would suggest to me, "Oh, forgive and forget," I would immediately be triggered. Like, forget?
Yeah, for some situation, for definite.
You're trash. Is what my first thought was. You are trash. You see, trash like you.
Yeah.
Should be taken right at. Yeah. That was my thing.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Because
then
what are you trying to do? Erase my experience?
Yeah, of course. That's how you would take it.
You know, spiritually bypass me on your bullshit. It was that.
Yeah.
It was that.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
But in another thing,
What
it was
would you-
like, when I think about this thought, in my body, I feel what?
Okay, now you feel something.
Okay, now I felt something. Okay. Who is this affecting first? Me.
Okay.
How do I not feel like this without involving anybody else? Without a phone call or a conversation or a kumbaya moment or any of that.
Yeah.
I have to change my belief as to what role I played in this thing or its power over me.
Right.
And it's like just deciding to take the handcuffs of the emotion attached to that thing off of you. That thing happened. That thing is true for you. That's a part of the storyline. But you don't have to handcuff yourself to the emotion of it.
Okay, so basically, yes, something happened. Yes, at the time you felt something, which would be the emotion.
Acknowledgement.
What you felt at the time is the emotion.
But take off the cuffs.
But
because
I
the cuffs is hurting you now.
Could you then say to yourself, that happened, say something happened last week. That happened last week, I leave it where it is last week. Like, I just, like,
you can revisit. No, because you have a memory. You have a memory in your memory. You can revisit it all the time, but there's so many things you could revisit.
Should you though?
I'm going to put it like how I have tried to deal with it. There's so many things that have happened to me that I would love to revisit. Why not revisit those things? Instead of revisiting the things that I feel like I am handcuffed to all the time and are causing me
distress.
Yeah. That's number one. You didn't like the fairground. It was shit. You got robbed.
Why don't you go back?
Don't go back.
Yeah, don't go back.
Why are you booking
that's a bit what I'm trying to explain.
A visit for next...
It's like if some things happened last month, I guess you acknowledge it.
But it's
you felt it, you had the emotion, but you don't have to relive it, basically.
You don't have to relive it. It's like forgive and don't relive. It's that rather than forgive and forget.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Because forget puts this thing that I'll never be counted again and I'll never be.
Yeah, but more like now
erase.
It's a bit more like you're doing something for yourself.
Right, now it's a favour for me.
Yeah,
now
you're
it's
not
my
going through the emotion all the time. Like, you acknowledge it. Okay, you felt what you felt. This is the emotion. That made you feel that way. Now from there you can move on because you're not going back. Because we have the tendency to
I'm not going to tear down the roller coaster. I'm just going to get off of it.
Well, we have the tendency to get attached to that because in a way, if I look back for what I experienced, it kind of felt good to be the victim.
Yeah.
Like
even though it sucks.
Even it sucks, but
there is a bit of a badge of honor that you feel like it's a fast track.
I'm talking about in the moment.
Oh no, that can fast track you to so many other parties.
Yeah.
It's like a VIP pass to pity. It's a VIP pass to sympathy. It's a VIP pass to empathy.
Yeah, because
from others. It's a VIP pass sometimes for comfort or sometimes for even a relationship. Like, oh my God, that happened to you too. Oh my God, you understand me. It's that. Do
you know what?
There's a club.
Well, this is what happened to me as far as that's concerned. I quickly felt when something happened to me that the more I stayed on the surface, you can have the talk about it, and then it feels like, okay, I'm the victim. It's not my fault because I was already obviously blaming, whose fault it was.
Yeah.
And then stayed there, but after a while, the energy of it was heavy.
Yeah.
It was very, very dense and heavy for me.
Yeah.
And
I always felt like after those conversations, I had to take a deep breath out.
Yeah, and that's when I knew that there was
like,
something there for me not
does
to
it
stay
feel
in that
good
space.
or does it just feel like something better than the thing that happened?
Right, that's it, yeah.
And that's what
really
I had
good.
to ask myself.
Yeah, I think we're done now.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, peeps, as per usual, comment section. Speak to one another, share this, share your stories if you must. Send love always. Sending you guys love always. And thanks for another co-creation. All the best always. Ciao.
Ciao.